The battle between Goku and Beerus marked the beginning of Dragon Ball Super and ushered in a new era for the series, one that redefined how fans approach power scaling and versus debates. From the moment Beerus was introduced, he became the ultimate benchmark, an ever-moving goalpost representing the peak Goku needed to reach. The idea of surpassing Beerus became a central theme throughout Super, with several moments suggesting Goku might finally achieve that milestone. One of the earliest examples was during the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament, where Goku unveiled the Blue Kaioken technique. Interestingly, Goku admitted himself that he'd been saving this power-up for a potential rematch with Beerus. The initial reveal even made Beerus visibly concerned, with Whis going as far as to ask if things might get serious should Goku unleash it at full strength. Another moment fans speculated about was during the Goku Black arc when Vegeta Blue made his appearance, another high watermark in Goku's climb towards surpassing the God of Destruction. Although these moments sparked plenty of discussion, it wasn't until Goku unlocked Ultra Instinct that the debate reignited with full force. His battle with Jiren, especially in the final stretch using Mastered Ultra Instinct, captivated fans worldwide. So much so that large crowds in places like Mexico gathered in public spaces to watch the conclusion unfold on massive screens. Beerus remains as one of the very few opponents who's ever pushed Goku to the point of stepping down from a fight voluntarily. The only others who share that distinction are Cell and Hit. Yet even now, over a decade later, the debate over whether Goku could finally defeat Beerus continues to stir passionate discussion among fans. In this video, I want to take a more grounded and thoughtful approach, examining the potential outcome of a Goku vs Beerus rematch through the lens of both narrative context and power scaling logic. First, let's clarify that we'll be strictly talking on the anime version of Beerus, not the manga. There are notable differences in power levels between the two versions, and I'll be referencing that contrast throughout the video. As of the time of this analysis, the anime and manga follow diverging storylines, each with unique conclusions and events that set them apart. So when we refer to things like Ultra Instinct Beerus sparring with the Gods of Destruction or certain power statements mentioned in the manga, they do not apply to this version of Beerus from the anime continuity. That's a crucial distinction moving forward. If you enjoy conversations like this and want to take part in deeper Dragon Ball discussions, I highly encourage you to join the Dragon Ball HQ Discord server, link below in the description. We'll be diving into this topic and more over there. Now, without further delay, let's begin. In the Dragon Ball Super anime, Beerus doesn't hold the same definitive title of strongest God of Destruction that he's implied to have in the manga. While the manga gives us a direct matchup and clear power scaling between the gods, the anime takes a more ambiguous approach. Beerus never officially battles all of his peers on screen, so his exact placement among them remains up for debate. However, there are still notable feats in the anime that suggest Beerus is among the top tier gods of destruction. One of the earliest and most striking examples comes from his confrontation with Champa. As the two brothers clash, Whis and Vados reveal that their mere exchange of blows is threatening to unravel the universe itself. It's stated outright that the gods of destruction should never engage in full combat with one another, as the consequences could be catastrophic, potentially wiping out everything. This scene becomes much more impressive when we see the Gods of Destruction sparring in the Tournament of Power right before the debut. Unlike before, their fight doesn't seem to pose the same level of risk to the surroundings, and no concern is raised about the ring being destroyed. While that could be credited to the incredible durability of the material the Grand Prix used to construct the fighting stage, it's worth noting that even the characters weaker than the gods have been shown damaging it. This opens the door to the argument that Beerus and Chapa's earlier clash may have been operating on a much higher level, one that far surpasses the display seen during the sparring match. Further supporting this idea is a moment where Goku directly asks Vados if he's stronger than Beerus. Vados quickly responds that he's not, pointing out how Champa's weight has a disadvantage, which Champa notably doesn't deny. Just seems a bit upset that she brought it up. While this seems like a jab played for humor, it subtly reinforces the idea that Beerus holds the edge. However, every time we see Beerus and Champa fight each other in the anime, they seem to be relatively even. Later on, before the Tournament of Power begins, we see another telling moment involving Sidra, the God of Destruction from Universe 9. In an underhanded attempt to weaken Universe 7 ahead of time, Sidra provides his Akai energy for an ambush. This energy is used against none other than Golden Frieza, who surprisingly manages to resist and ultimately dispel it with little difficulty. What's more is Frieza even considers turning that same energy back against Universe 9. The sheer ease in which he handles it sends both Sidra and his Supreme Kai into a panic. At one point, Sidra threatens to destroy Frieza if he turns into a traitor, but the Kai bluntly responds like it'll be that easy, hinting that Frieza would actually be a serious threat even to a god of destruction of his magnitude. Soon after, Beerus arrives on the scene and effortlessly wipes away the same spear of destruction that had rattled Sidra and his team. He does it casually without a second thought. This subtle but powerful moment makes one thing very clear. Beerus is operating on a completely different level than Sidra, and Beerus at this time is much stronger than Frieza, so for Frieza to have thought to be a threat, Beerus would obviously be much higher than this. That being said, while Beerus may not have explicit statements in the anime about being the strongest god of destruction or clear showcases, moments like this place him definitely near the top echelon. During the Tournament of Power, Goku engages in a heated battle against Jiren. who at that point is still holding back yet remains incredibly formidable. Hints of Jiren's overwhelming strength had been dropped long before this fight. During the Zen exhibition match, Toppo revealed that there was a mortal in Universe 11 who not only surpassed him but even exceeded the power of their god of destruction. Whis later confirmed this statement and added that Belmont was considered stronger than Beerus. However, Beerus countered by saying Belmont only bested him in an arm wrestling contest. This scene leaves the power difference between Belmont and Beerus open to interpretation. The only confirmed fact is that Beerus lost to Belmont in a single match of strength, but it doesn't necessarily confirm overall superiority. Whether one chooses to believe Whis or Beerus is subjective, but either way, the key takeaway remains: Jiren is above a god of destruction. As Goku continues fighting Jiren, he begins adapting more and more to the Ultra Instinct technique. Eventually, he reaches a point where he doesn't need to rely on his eyesight. He moves, dodges, and attacks entirely through instinct alone. Whis observes and acknowledges this development, noting how Goku's fighting style has evolved to no longer rely on deliberate thought but rather natural reaction. Jiren in response increases his power significantly. Goku, now in Ultra Instinct, matches him calmly and unfazed. At one point, Goku's energy radiates so immensely that the animation depicts the formation of a galaxy, a symbolic representation of the sheer magnitude of his aura and strength. When Jiren unleashes his most powerful attack in an attempt to end the battle, Goku not only counters it but shrinks his power before completely erasing it. At this stage, Goku has transcended his previous limits, unlocking the true form of Ultra Instinct, Mastered Ultra Instinct. In this form, Goku clearly surpasses Jiren, and since Jiren is consistently portrayed as beyond the level of gods of destruction, this places MUI Goku above that threshold. The significance of this transformation is underscored by the gods of destruction themselves, who rise to their feet in awe as they witness Goku's power. The scale now appears to be MUI Goku is above full power Jiren, who's above Belmont. Considering that Jiren, even without using his full strength, was stated multiple times to be above the gods of destruction like Belmont and Beerus, since he would be a part of the gods of destruction, it's fair to conclude that Goku, having surpassed Jiren through Mastered Ultra Instinct, reached a level beyond any god of destruction shown in the anime at that time. Of course, this scaling applies strictly to the anime continuity and not the manga, as in the recent chapters, Beerus suggests that when Goku does surpass him, he will appoint him to be a god of destruction. However, in the anime, this isn't entirely the case, and Goku has definitely surpassed Beerus after being stronger than someone who was stronger than all the gods of destruction. Goku in his Mastered Ultra Instinct form had surpassed Beerus, at least in the context of the anime. There are several key indicators that support this conclusion, even though it's never stated outright. To start, Ultra Instinct itself is a technique that not even the gods of destruction have fully mastered. Whis directly tells Goku that not even Beerus has achieved full mastery over Ultra Instinct, though he has been training in the state for a long time. That alone sets the stage for how significant it is when Goku not only assesses Ultra Instinct's on, but evolves into the fully realized silver-haired form that is Mastered Ultra Instinct. During his final battle against Jiren, Goku doesn't only fight toe-to-toe with someone who had already pushed past his own limits, but he overwhelms him. And Jiren was portrayed as a being whose strength surpassed that of a god of destruction. If Goku was able to defeat someone like Jiren at his absolute peak and even after his potential was unleashed, it naturally raises the question of whether that places Goku on the divine power scale or not. Moreover, the visual storytelling around Goku's transformation and performance in this state is very telling. Every god in the audience, including Beerus, stands up in awe when Goku reaches Mastered Ultra Instinct. Beerus, who rarely ever shows strong reactions, looked visibly serious and intrigued. This moment served as a quiet acknowledgement that Goku had reached a plane of power that few mortals or even gods had ever attained. While Beerus' full power in the anime is still largely unseen and certainly possesses divine techniques and experience beyond that of Goku, the portrayal of Mastered Ultra Instinct at the end of the Tournament of Power paints a very strong case for him having surpassed this. After the long-running joke of people thinking Beerus was surpassed and then things were done outside of that to prove otherwise, they've been unable to come to terms with Beerus ever being surpassed just in general. In the case of the manga, this fight will play out very differently, as even the recent chapters of Gohan Beast and Ultra Instinct Goku haven't surpassed Beerus or even come close to it. Black Frieza, someone who's implied to be above everyone, is still not at the level of Beerus, or at least he's approaching it. But again, this isn't the case for the anime. It can be very different. Goku surpassed Beerus in the anime, making this fight relatively unfair.